Hello everybody and welcome to the Gaming Geezer 1965. This morning, before I went to work, I thought to myself, I want to see if my capture card can record from the Sega Mega Drive Mini 2. And yes, it could do that, so I finally can make a decent video about a lot of Sega games, all the games that are on here. And I had a nice idea to give you all the racing games that are here. That is OutRun, OutRunners, Super Hang-On, I kinda forgot that one, and Virtua Racing. Because according to ChatGPT there was also a road race game in here, but I guess not. Rolling Thunder, no road race, because that should have been in the vicinity of Robo LS and Rolling Thunder, because the next game is Sewer Shark. So, but we will go in alphabetical order, and at the end of the video I will tell you which game I liked the most and why, and I also will say what I like, dislike and think that is mediocre about each game. So let's start with OutRun. Well, you get some nice introduction. This game on the Mega Drive was released in 1991. Can you imagine that the original arcade game was in 1986? So it was quite a few years later, and still we didn't have hardware that could mimic the sprite scaler games from Sega. But let's start this game. But what they did have was a passion for the project. Yeah, the colors are a bit different compared to the arcade, but they made it as good as they could with the hardware they got. The only thing that I think that could have been done better is the sprite design. Because think of the, I kind of forgot the name of that machine. It was an 8-bit machine with a 16 in its name. Because yeah, it looks like a 16-bit game. And that was from NEC. And that game had better designed sprites that looked like the original. But to be honest, for the rest, with the amount of sprites and the sea, what you are going to see, and the surface on it, the Mega Drive version is still, to my liking, better than that. No, it's not System 60, that's the original arcade board name, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I will not break my brain over that topic. You will definitely know what I mean. Let me know in the comments. I should have made a list of things that I wanted to talk about, so I am not taking so long. Let's see in the options. Yes, it's on normal, so let's stick to normal. Exit. My favorite song is the Magical Sound Shower or Shower or whatever you pronounce it. And then Splash Wave, and then the Passing Breeze. But to be honest, when I'm on the arcade with the proper sound quality of the game, then I do prefer Passing Breeze to Splash Wave. But on the Mega Drive, somehow Splash Wave catches me more. But of course I'm going to play with the Magical Sound Shower. Yes, I've played so much the Switch version of OutRun And that is of course the arcade version minus the Testarossa lookalike. But when you think back to the days of the Mega Drive, I must say it is still an amazing game. Look at the amount of waves you get to see and the surfers. And I saw in a YouTube video that somebody on purposely crashed to show you that the car is actually still sinking in the sea. Well, it's the other way around. The sprites are on top of the ground, so the waves of the sea are higher than ground level, and so your car is hidden beneath these sprites of the waves. But it still gives you that feeling that the car has actually sunk in the sea. So that same detail that they did in the arcade was also on the Mega Drive version. Ooh, that other car, that was just pushing me off, and I thought, well, maybe I can go a little bit off the track. But no. Also, the AI of the drivers, they behave differently than the arcade. And since I've put close to 100 hours on the Switch version and a lot more on the 3DS, and of course, well, I don't know how many hours on the Sega Saturn version, which still is my most favorite one, but I can't capture that. So I can do an OutRun version on the Switch on this channel, and maybe I'm even going to do that. Only unfortunately they moved some stages and that's why I took this stage to the left, and then at the end of this we are going to the right, and the stage that we just went through was supposed to be where we're going. Oops. And where we're going was supposed to be on where we just went through. Yeah, if you can still follow me, that's okay. But they're supposed to swap place. So, and I guess this is the Japanese layout. So I don't understand why Sega made some changes. Would Europe really mind if we had the Japanese layout as well? Or the other way around? Because it seems that the European version seems to be more beloved by the fans. If I'm seeing a video on OutRun, it always uses the overseas layout. On normal, this game is more easy than the Switch version, which is actually like the arcade. But as you can see, I'm still very low on time.
Checkpoint.
And this stage is not only swapped, but they've also given small changes to the corner layout. So it may be that I am steering in the wrong direction because I'm so used to the original version. When I played this a lot when this was recently released in 1991, of course I got used to this version because at home I played this almost just as much as I played the arcade version. I must say, these big sprites and still the huge... Whoa! I'm afraid I'm not even going to make it. It's still amazing what they did with the Mega Drive version. Full screen, big sprites. And I was right, I'm not going to make it because the sprites will make sure that I'm slowing down, and I wouldn't have made it anyway. But that was not the purpose of this video. I will put my name in it. In the old times you only could put 3 initials in. FTL stood for faster than light. In this version you could use more characters, but I just stick to how I did it on the arcade version. Well, and since I'm playing on the Mega Drive Mini, there's not a button press combination that I know of that takes you back to the menu. So I have to bend over and just press the reset button. And as you can see, we're in the system menu where I can go to return to main menu. That save game that you see over there, that is, I haven't used this on purposely, because when I'm focused gaming and when you do all the endings, you get a nice extra animation, like a hidden animation. And you know what? Never mind, that will be for a different video, otherwise this video is going to be too long. So, let's go to OutRunners. Game start. When I saw this game, I had high hopes for this, because they did a great job on OutRun on what you just saw before. And then I saw this and I thought, wow, the graphics, that's actually pretty nice, the way they took that yellow car in the bottom screen. But I was like, why do they show a split screen? Well, you will soon see, and you'll probably know already. But before we do that, I know that this game is toe-curlingly difficult. So we will at least put the level on easy. Easy, time extend, I want more seconds. And the engine sound, let's not change that, because you can make it louder or lower. But I'll just stick to what Sega thinks we need to do. But I want to see how I can swap the music. Button A is music select, up and down is shift down and up. But I'm not using that, I will use automatic. B is accelerate, C is... And now I understand why the music was changing. I want a different control. I want A to be the brake, B to be the accelerator, and C to be the music change. Or at least, if that's not possible, then B will be the brake and C will be accelerator. Because in a car, no matter in what country you live, the accelerator is always to the right. So it is not what we're using. Brake, accelerator, brake, brake, accelerator, music select. But to be honest, I kind of like the idea that the most farthest to the right will be accelerator. So let's go to this version. Arcade. Easy handling. Well, you can't have an OutRun game without a Testarossa. Yes, there we have it, the Speed Buster. Wow, you already knew it. But they thought, you know what? Let's give them a split screen even when you're playing alone. And you guess what? The guy that was the AI has chosen the route for me. So even though OutRun is all about choosing your own route, well, not in this game. In this game it's the AI choose the route unless you're in front. That is a big no-no for me. And since they forced this game in two-player mode, and the Mega Drive has a limit on sprites that you can draw on screen, we get a very close draw distance, wonderful. But actually still pretty big sprites. So imagine how good this game could have been if the single player was a single player game, like as you saw with the original OutRun. I'm also missing the arches in this level from the arcade version, and still I'm not allowed to choose the route. It's that idiot that is number one. I so love an OutRun game where the thing that makes OutRun is taken away by the AI. Nice. Even though the gameplay is not bad. Then I would have even preferred that Sega would even take out the multiplayer mode. Because how many people did I had in my home coming to play this game? Zero. They all preferred OutRun, and that's a single player game, and they prefer even taking turns instead of playing this turn of a game. So yeah, you can hear that this is not the game that I would have chosen to be on this collection. Oh, did I make... Oh wow, are you sick? So I had the choice, but actually my choice would have been left, 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 and so on. So, because that's the only road that I could finish on the arcade version, and I always like to see if they made some changes or not. Because the Mega Drive version of OutRun, except for that single stage where I failed, oh, it's on auto, so it doesn't matter what direction I am pressing. But to be honest, I never actually bought this on the Mega Drive. At that time, I already sold my Mega Drive and bought myself the Super Nintendo. But I am so glad that I didn't have my Mega Drive at that time anymore, and that I was playing it on an emulator to still be able to play my Sega games. And I never was searching for games that I didn't own. So the first time that I played this game was on this emulator. But of course I've seen YouTube videos, for instance GameSec, where they also play this game. And Joe also didn't like the split screen. I wonder if there was somebody who actually liked the split screen of this game. I should have gone to the other side, but never mind. Oh, I take it that idiot was... Yeah, he was in front of me. Yes, so nice. And some sprite design is not even bad. I must say, the cars, they are pretty good, and they are actually pretty decent compared to the arcade version. And the gameplay, even though the draw distance is so close that you can trip on the first sprite that gets in your way, so to speak, then still the gameplay isn't too bad. And as you can see, even on the most easy setting, I'm always losing to the AI. And I've tried this morning as well. And of course, I was the loser, because no matter on what difficulty setting you play, the AI is mostly in front. Yeah, sometimes I can make the choice, but it's more luck than wisdom. And I don't even want to get good at this game to see if I can actually be, because yeah, I already get annoyed enough with the short draw distance, the forced split screen Yeah, that will probably not be my number 2 or even number 3. I'm not even going to save whatever is left of this play. Let's go back and go to actually my very first game that I bought on the Mega Drive was Super Hang-On, and I bought it together with Ghouls and Ghosts, and that is still my most favorite game on this platform. I don't know if that is in here. I guess not. No. Grandia Golden X2. I guess that game has been on the Mega Drive Mini 1. And I actually didn't bought that. But let's get to this game, released in 1990. I don't know if that release date is European or Japanese, and also I never actually paid attention to release dates, because yeah, I saw the Mega Drive in a shop on a display, and that display only showed the screen with a demonstration of this game Ghouls and Ghosts running. And at that time, it was so long ago that I played the arcade version that I mistaken the Mega Drive version with the original. So I went to the man behind the counter and I asked, how can you hook up an arcade cabinet to a TV in your display cabinet? He said, that isn't an arcade machine, it's the Mega Drive. Needless to say that I didn't have the money on me, so needless to say that I went home and made sure that I had the money on me that weekend. After the weekend I went to the shop and I came home with the Mega Drive. Let's go for a new game, arcade. Just a beginner, and let's do a winning run, because I am going to lose, I guess, because I've played this not for a long time. I guess I got the right button for accelerator, and I think the C will be the boost, and we will soon find out. By 280, yes, I got the proper button, and I'm properly hitting the bike in front of me. Oh. The controls is a bit spongy and I have to get used to it again. And if you haven't played the arcade version in a long time, I must say the sprite design really feels like the arcade machine. It isn't as smooth, of course, because still no sprite scaling. Oh, brake. When you get the feel of it again, it already is better. I did install an options menu, so I guess I'm playing on the normal settings of the arcade version. And I never was able to finish the arcade version, so I think that will be the same now. Well, I think the fact is that no matter what game came after OutRun, as long as the OutRun arcade cabinet was still over there, that was still the game that I went to. Even when Power Drift was released, I loved the graphics and that 3D feel. But the gameplay and that mood of that game, yeah, somehow, yeah, OutRun just had it for me. Oh. Oh, wow! I'm entering the single final stage, because each stage is 2 checkpoints. This one and the next one. And then the finish. So, will I make it to the end? Boink. The thing that amazes me most is that even the sprites of your competition drivers, they look very close to arcade. And this was even for me a first release game. I don't know if that's the truth, but it's amazing that a game of this age can be so close to the original. Even, oops, no ending for you, sir. Yeah, but I was already very happy with this version. That original mode I've played a few times too, but still I like the arcade version more. Nice and simple, choose easy, normal, hard, choose a song, and I'm still making it, but yeah, I guess I've lost too much bonus time. Oh. I was already braking, but it was too little. Well, I'm already amazed that for my first go, so to speak, first go in a long time, so no practicing, I already did pretty well. Yeah, when you give the Mega Drive full screen, so you get to see more of the road, it's already a better game. It doesn't have to be arcade perfect. If the gameplay is good and the music is nice, nah, I'm not going to. Oops! Well, that's a nice ending. 0, crash. Game over. Well, let's just reset. Go to main menu. That was actually fun to play this game again. And I will leave this hooked up after this video, and I will still play some OutRun, Super Hang-On. But let me see if Virtua Racing is still as fun to play now as it was when the game was released. Because to be honest, when you look back at videos on YouTube, you see the game back and you think, man, the resolution is so low, and yeah, it had a Sega Virtual processor, but yeah, you can almost count the amount of polygons and a frame rate of around 14 or 15 frames per second. I can't actually precisely measure them, but I read in Edge magazine that this version ran at 15 frames per second. And it was the most smooth polygon game of its time. But I've played the Switch version of this game, and that game is Arcade Plus. 60 frames per second, sharper resolution than the arcade. No more pop-up, so they completely eliminated that, and I was too slow. I'm talking too much. But let's see if this game, 1994, come on. That was a year before the PlayStation 1 was released. So 1 year later, we were playing Ridge Racer. So imagine that. And let's run the demo for a while. Man, look at that low resolution. And yeah, I knew that the Mega Drive didn't have the amount of colors. So you get that dot effect. So they mimic more colors. And yeah, it's more noticeable on a big screen than on that, like, I don't know how many inch it was, but this is 77 inch. And I played on a small camping TV, a color TV. So that may have been like 15, 17 inch at most. I don't know the proper size. Let's just give it a go. But I want to see if you can put it on easy. Even the menu is in 3D. So the arcade version and just the first course. I kind of forgot where everything is. Oh, that is sorry. Ah, that's better. I wanted to see all the checkpoints. I mean, yeah, I wanted to show you, but I guess, yeah, this is the most preferred one, the second highest. Now let's focus on the gameplay. I remember that a friend of mine that living close to me, not the same street but around the block, we were always playing this together and trying to improve on each other's lap time in the time trial mode. And man, we had some fun with this game. And yes, at that time this was impressive, and now it still is, looking back to this being the first, well, not proper 3D, because there were 3D games on the Mega Drive, Atari one, race driving, or I forgot the proper name, but that was like 4 or 5 frames per second. I didn't even bought it after I saw it in the shop. It was like, never mind. I prefer sprites over 3D graphics if they move so choppy. And this is still, it looks smoother as 15 frames per second, to be honest. And maybe it is because it's not running on the Sega Virtua processor, but it's an emulation. I don't know. And for a Mega Drive version, the draw distance is even amazing. It feels even further away than Daytona USA on the Sega Saturn. And of course, I prefer to play the Switch version. I'm not going to kid you. I'm not going to say that this is still as good as it was the day it was released. But it is far from a bad game. I'm not getting angry about it. If I make a mistake, it's because I haven't played it in such a long time. And to be honest, like I said, I still prefer to play the Switch version because that's even better than the arcade. But to respect the things that Sega did, yes, this is still an amazing game, before its time. Oh, I kind of expected him to go the other way, but boing. The animation is properly stiff, so to speak. I'm not going to make it. Yeah, in the old times, of course, without chatting, without playing it for such a long time, I could make it to the finish. I can't remember if that was first place or not, but I could make it to the finish. I will let the OutRun game demo and I will come to a conclusion. Return to the main menu. I wonder why I made a save game, I can't remember anymore. Let's go back to OutRun. Yeah. Usually with these videos, they go from the worst game to the best game. But since I have been doing this video live and not making it a presentation, you can already feel the mood that I'm in when I'm playing a game. And that's what I like about doing the videos this way. So it's not a high production value that you make some cool. I should have played longer with every game and then copy, paste and cut and make a good video edit while talking over the video, and then yeah, you can do it in the proper order, in other way, from worst to best. But I like this channel to be that I'm responding to the game at the moment that I'm playing. Am I enjoying myself? Am I getting annoyed? And then you actually know what's it going to be. So yeah, this is definitely my number one. The amount of sprites and then still the smoothness. Well, when you take in account that this isn't using proper sprite scaling, this is a very great value for money game that actually gives you that same feeling as the arcade. The forks in the roads, all that traffic on the road, actually a track that goes from like 5 or 6 lanes to 3 lanes, and everything that was in the arcade is there, except for one extra thing. You have one extra song, Step on Beat. And so, yeah, this is number one. Number two, well, at the beginning, I wanted to put Virtua Racing at number 2. Before I made this video, in my head it was like, I think of the time in the past, and I had much more fun with Virtua Racing at that time than I had with Super Hang-On. But now playing it back after so long taking a break from these games, I'd say Super Hang-On wins. And why? I came further than I expected, even though I was also talking through the gameplay. And also, I was also still amazed at how they designed the sprites. It was actually a proper sprite design, and that even had the likeness to the arcade closer than this game had. So when it comes to matching graphics, Super Hang-On even beats OutRun. But on a technical point of view and a gameplay point of view, OutRun is still number one for me. So, number 2, Virtua Racing, you idiot. Super Hang-On. I didn't even show you the original mode, but you got more modes and that arcade feel was still there. That is number 2. Well, sorry, you've already heard me completely complaining and trashing the game, so you know Virtua Racing comes at number 3. I expected it to be number 2, But no, technically it's way more impressive. Yes, it should have been number 2. But like I said, when I turn on a game that I haven't played for a long time, and when I ignore the time that I had with friends, because my friend also preferred Virtua Racing in that time. When he visited me, we didn't do Super Hang-On as much, but at the moment I live in a different neighborhood, that friend isn't coming anymore. We grew apart, and so I'm responding to the game as I play at the moment, alone or online through PlayStation Live, Xbox Live, whatever. So in the Mega Drive point of view, Virtua Racing is the 3rd game, and dead last, even though you can play it on couch co-op, but you won't want to punish your friends, will be OutRunners. Yes, look, I prefer to actually pay for my games. But when it comes to OutRunners, if I really want to play OutRunners, I play it on an emulator. And the thing is, on an emulator, you can't complain about the lack of features or the things that doesn't work. I have it on the Steam Deck, and I can't make the difficulty so that I can make it to one of the finishes. I always come to an end before the finish. And this morning, when I wasn't talking, I could finish the game, but barely, and I didn't have too much fun. And when I was doing the video, I was even more annoyed, because in the first try, I had more saying in where we go. There was well, more saying, yeah. At least the first track and like the 3rd or something like that. Well, it doesn't matter. It's dead last, and now you know. OutRun number 1, Super Hang-On number 2, Virtua Racing number 3, and dead last OutRunners. It hurts me to say, because I like the OutRun game with the fork in the road better, but they've taken away so much by making it a split screen even in single player. They obviously didn't learn from Lotus Spirit Turbo Challenge, where the first Lotus game, I don't know the proper name of that, maybe it was just Lotus or Lotus Spirit, and Lotus 2 had full screen, and that was so much better. And this OutRun also has full screen, and the further draw distance, you don't need the same amount of sprites divided in 2 screens. So they could have even made more detail in the background. I mean, even this game was way earlier out than the other OutRun. And this still amazes me, and that other way amazes me for the wrong reasons. It amazes me that something that came out so close to the end of the Mega Drive life, how can that be so bad? But it's enough moaning about that game for me. I hope you enjoyed the video, even though the negative stuff at the end is not so nice. Usually I prefer to end on a high note. And yeah, I can chat some more about OutRun and Virtua Racing and Super Hang-On some more. But you get the point. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we see each other in the next one.